From inside TD Garden, with the Boston Celtics just topped the Denver Nuggets 131-112, I am Josue Pavon alongside Bobby Manning. Bobby, a lot was talked about in terms of Malcolm Brogdon. This team being without Malcolm Brogdon, the second unit, how would they survive without him? And it was Payton Pritchard who answered the call in this one. Man, what a game for Payton Pritchard, for someone who hasn't played a whole lot this season. He stepped up in a big way for the Celtics team. 11 points, 4 rebounds, but sometimes the stat sheet doesn't tell the entire story, right, Bobby?
Yeah, and the Celtics built a lead through those units again. It's been the same story going back a couple games now. The Bulls game, they hold that lead for the whole second half. The Grizzlies game, they're up for maybe save for a few possessions in that second half, even though the Grizzlies are rallying the whole way to the final seconds. Then this one, pretty similar. Nuggets get within one at one point. Pritchard in that second unit expand the lead. Nice to have Derek White out there with them too. They had made that lineup change a couple games ago, replacing White with Grant Williams in the starters. So White naturally that backup point guard now. And then Pritchard fitting in between, finding shots where he can, but mostly playing great defense and chasing offensive rebounds, which made a huge difference in this game. You look at that stretch where the Celtics got, I think, 5 offensive rebounds on one play, 3 of them from Pritchard. He ends this game with 4, and including a putback. That's just great stuff. Like, that's a guy who knows he's a little bit cold, coming off the bench, isn't going to be able to make an impact on the dribble or with his shot. So he's going to go out there and chase down some loose balls and get some putbacks, and made a big difference in this game, energy-wise, I felt like.
Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla was asked before this game if Payton Pritchard would have to go out and do his best Malcolm Brogdon impression. And I like what he had to say. He said, no, we just need Payton Pritchard to be Payton Pritchard. And I think he certainly did that. He showed how he can make his presence felt on both ends of the floor. And you look at what Pritchard was doing with the second unit needs for him. Fundamentals is what I kept saying. I kept saying that to Sherrod during the Celtics postgame show. It's what Joe Mazzulla has been preaching since day one. And you look at the performance that Pritchard put together, whether it was grabbing that, snatching that rebound away from DeAndre Jordan, doing what you're not supposed to do when you're a big man, right? You get that rebound, you keep your hands up. He put it down for 2 seconds. Pritchard was there to snatch it away. He had another steal before that. You know, the putback layup, the things that gets this crowd into it, the things that kept the momentum flowing for the Celtics. It seemed like Pritchard was that guy for them in the second unit.
Yeah, for sure. There's another sequence I liked where he stopped Porter in isolation. Yeah. Best guy, much bigger than him. And I've seen Pritchard at practice trying to defend Tatum, trying to defend Brown. Like, he practices against the bigger guys on the Celtics, trying to survive in those matchups. And he did on that play, got around a screen next time down and hit a nice little mid-range pull-up jumper. So he found ways to contribute in short time. I thought that's where he really struggled last year, is coming in for a few minutes and trying to do a few things. In this game, looked 100% ready to go, and that was only his 5th bucket, the putback of the season, when Tatum actually got ahead to him in that early play, rather. So he came in with pretty much no playing time this year and made a big difference in this game, and it just shows you how talented this roster is, where he's, the 12th man on this team, or 13th, whatever you want to call it, and he's that good, that impactful. It's great to have. I know a lot of people have talked about, Pritchard doesn't play, you should just trade him. It's good to have a guy like that if Brogdon goes out, and that's what we said when they traded for Brogdon. He's probably going to miss time this year, but they have a lot of other guards who can step in and take his place.
That's exactly what I asked Sherrod Blakely, who started the show off, Celtics postgame show, and I'm saying, man, is he the Malcolm Brogdon insurancy policy? And he's like, yeah, pretty much. And I'm like, you know what? That's not a bad role to be in, or at least for the Celtics, that's not a bad guy to have as your third point guard, third string point guard.
4th, really?
Or 4th, yeah, right.
Who would that guy be in the past? Tremont Waters, Phil Pressey. Like, that's incredible to have that guy as your 4th guard.
And this segment of the Garden Report is brought to you by Calm.com. Head over to Calm.com/Garden, where you can get 40% off a premium subscription just for watching this show. Of course, that's Calm.com/Garden, whether it's meditation, sleep noises, sleep sounds, whatever you need to get you through the day or wind down before bed. You head over to Calm.com/Garden for that 40% off of a premium subscription. Again, Malcolm Brogdon was the talk heading into this game. Joe Mazzulla mentioned that he is still considered day-to-day. He's not saying that the extent of this thing is there's no timetable set here. We'll see if he's going to play Saturday night, but what's your level of concern when it comes to Malcolm Brogdon?
I'm not concerned, but I'm not that at ease either. I'm not thinking he's going to be back fast.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so they're day-to-day. That could mean a week, 2 weeks potentially here. They're still calling it tightness, which I don't really know how to react to. Right. If it was a strain or something, you'd certainly think he's going to miss some significant time here. Maybe a tightness opens up in a couple of days or something. Joe did say he's responding well to treatment so far, but you don't rush him, right? You have this backcourt, you have White, you have Pritchard. They can survive without him, and there's a bigger picture that you're obviously trying to get to with Brogdon. So hamstrings are tricky. John emphasized that for probably a half hour on last show.
Yeah, he did.
And he's right. You don't mess around with this. Remember last year they brought back Jalen too soon, and he hurt it again. If he's got to miss a week or two here, so be it. The schedule actually softens up a little bit with Detroit and Oklahoma City coming up.
Especially with Malcolm's track record, which is something that we talked about coming into the season. This is the first game he's missed as a member of the Boston Celtics. But if you want to look at an example of how this team can perform at a high level without him against a top tier team from the Western Conference and the Denver Nuggets, I mean, this is it. I mean, this should be comforting for Joe Mazzulla that if the Celtics are into a similar situation or whether they're playing maybe a much inferior team, that this second unit, along with, of course, the rest of the team, can hold their own without Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, the fun continues for Sam Hauser, who is he plus 10 in this one, something like that. Cornette, best game off the bench yet for him. 4 of 8, 8 points, 7 rebounds. Second unit's looking good. It looks like a real weapon for this team. And it's been a while since we've been able to say that. Last year it was just, 2 guys staggered, Tatum and Brown off the bench. You know, a real second unit now, which is pretty impressive for the depth of this organization.
One of the deeper teams in the Eastern Conference. That's something that none of us said, right? No one from the Guard Report.
Was worried about the depth. Yeah, you have Hauser, Cornette, they're mainstays now. Like every night you can play them and get something good out of them, it looks like.
Absolutely. And this segment of the Guard Report is also brought to you by Athletic Greens. I was going to say calm again. Athletic Greens. Head over to athleticgreens.com/garden. Just for watching this show, just for being just to support our sponsors. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/garden. You get a year supply of vitamin D, 5 travel packs as well. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/garden. The Boston Celtics will look to make it 6 in a row. They're winning. This is a legitimate winning streak now. 3 or 4 is one thing, but they've reached 5. They're going to try to make it 6 Saturday night. Celtics, of course, post-game, CLNS Media, we got you covered, the Celtics post-game show. Again, Celtics topped the Denver Nuggets 131-112 for Bobby Manning. I am Josue Pavon, and we'll see you guys next time.